Xi Jinping won't be attending the G20 meeting or the COP26 in person, even though China is indeed at the heart of many of the issues that will be discussed there. What does that suggest?
Yeah, well, it's certainly not a good look that the leader of the largest emitter of greenhouse gases isn't going to be attending the summit. Of course, the G20 really is a precursor to Glasgow, and it does sort of indicate that China won't offer any further concessions at COP26, particularly because of the fact that just a day ago it already submitted its NDCs, its national determined contributions. So it does seem as though there aren't going to be any other big headlines in terms of what more China might offer to help tackle climate change. And that will come as a disappointment to a lot of people because, in the NDC, the main things that come out of that really was only that China was reaffirming what President Xi Jinping had already pledged to do, which is to allow emissions to peak by 2030 before trying to aim for net zero by 2060. That doesn't mean there wasn't anything new in it at all, though. China has also committed to increasing its share of non-fossil fuels to 25%, up from 20% by 2030 for primary energy consumption. And it's also said that it will increase its capacity for wind and solar energy up to 1,200 gigawatts.
And Patrick, the Chinese leader hasn't actually left the country at all since the start of the pandemic. Many people, of course, were hoping that he would, given the significance of both of these events. What is behind that decision?
Yeah, well, the pandemic's certainly one of the reasons, and we can't ignore the geopolitics behind it also. I mean, one strong reason in particular that a lot of people have talked about is that President Xi Jinping may not want to have that face-to-face meeting with President Joe Biden before relations between Washington and Beijing get on a better track. But, in terms of the issue of climate change, there are some important factors involved in that as well, involved in China's thinking on that. I mean, first of all, a lot of experts have said that it's a case of China not wanting to overpromise. It wants to undercommit so that it can over-deliver in many ways. And it is skeptical of this target of not allowing temperatures to rise by anything more than 1.5 degrees. And so it's looking at that, particularly as it undergoes this sort of current energy crisis that it has on its hands right now, and is saying, we can't commit to that in the near term, or certainly we can't commit to it and knowingly deliver. So it's playing a little bit cautious for the time being, but that doesn't mean that it isn't committed to climate change in the same way that many other nations are. That said, a lot of experts will say that the idea is that countries need to show ambition in order for others to follow them.